Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the season 38 version of TJ Hates Quitters over here on Silent Podcast. We are anything but silent. My name is Kari. I'm joined by my co-host Katie. Katie, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you? I'm still waking up, but not in a bad way. I'm ready.
Yeah, same. My alarm went off and I was like, let's go. We're talking about the challenge this morning, which
Yeah, I'm
I was going to say, if you asked me 4 days ago, I was not excited about.
no, but neither was I. I mean, you know, and anybody who listened to the Challenge USA recap, I publicly quit the challenge, but yet here I am. So, I came back and it wasn't out of pressure. I was just like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But I reserve the right to quit at any time if it gets really bad. So, but of course I'll give you ample notice so you can find another co-host.
It'll just be me monologuing about the challenge. I will say I think I was concerned just because of two things. One, I was just still so mad about the Challenge USA because
Yeah.
we had like a quality season, and then with the finale, they were like, nah, dog, we're
Yeah.
just gonna mess all this up. And then the second part is, and I've done some reflecting on this.
Okay.
I feel like Gamer Vev, if
Yeah.
you know, you know, she's
Yeah. If you know, you know.
I'll say they, I don't know why I assume she, but they provide challenge spoilers, and a lot of the discourse around the challenge spoilers as they come out, or just like around this person's account as it is very negative.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've gotten kind of caught up in the negativity of it. And so I took a moment before I watched and I was like, we're going to enjoy this at a surface value. Let's ignore this like corner of internet discourse, because this corner of internet discourse, if it's not like, I don't know, Marie or Amber B winning, like they're not about it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
like fuck everybody else. And so
Yeah, they have their
um
faves.
they definitely do, and they push their faves hard. And listen, this is not a shot at Gamer Vev by any means. Like, I am not saying anything negative, but I think I've kind of gotten caught up in like the comments I read, the people
Yeah.
quote tweeting their stuff, and that like I just have to remember these are just a bunch of like 20 something, 30 somethings who like their literal life, their means to an end is reality TV. And I just got to take it at that surface level of that's what it is. Like, stop
Yeah.
caring so much about these like details that cause people to be like, no, that person is like the stan culture. I'm
Yeah.
not a part of it, but I need to stop taking that in. So I came to this episode, and it also helped that Naomi, fellow silent podcaster, was like, no, I
Yes.
actually kind of enjoyed the first episode. And I was like, all right, we can do this.
Okay, so Naomi watched before you did.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We
Yeah.
podcasted together
Oh,
Friday, and she asked, and I was, or she's like, "What'd you think of the first?" And I was like, "I can't lie to you, I didn't watch it Wednesday. I was busy last night. I will get to it." And she's like, "I actually liked it. Like I thought it was pretty good."
yeah. She and I talked about it a little bit too. We podcasted about House of the Dragon on Thursday, and it came up just toward the end after we were done recording. And I share the same sentiments as her. And I think you're right about like just even not even like Gamer Vev, but even just like the past challenge participants or contestants or cast members, they get really like in it too. Like there's
Mhm.
just fighting all the time on the timeline, which is fine. Like I enjoy mess, but you're right. It like gives this air of negativity over the show that just makes me like, oh, here's another season of this. When I'm just like not that interested in following it that deeply. Like I can do that with Big Brother, but I cannot do that with the challenge at this point. I just don't care enough.
Yeah, and give me like the major highlights of the drama. I'm definitely there.
Right.
I want to know about the drama. I don't know if I necessarily want to be a part of the conversation on the internet about the drama. I'll
Right.
gladly talk about it here, where more reasonable people will be talking about it. And so Naomi helped being like, I thought it was decent, and took a moment to be like, okay, you've enjoyed the challenge. Like, you cannot let how they approached the Challenge USA plus this just bring upon negativity about it. So I'm
Right.
here with an open mind. I am ready for this season. And I think that this first episode has done some good for me where, like, okay,
Good.
I'm ready for this.
Good.
So let's talk about this first episode. Now that we've gotten some of the like ick. I hate that word.
Right.
When people say they have the ick from someone, I'm like, grow up. Because like there's got to be a better way. Like, let's talk about our actual feelings and not just say
Right.
the ick. Let's use our big girl words. But anyway, sorry if I just slandered all of you.
No,
Because
that's
I know
okay.
it's a common saying right now.
Yeah.
So we know that this season's theme is ride or dies. Supposedly, they
Supposedly.
got to pick their partner.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I believe that, but that's fine. Politely, we're not going to run through this cast for you because we aren't even sure of the full fucking cast right now, because there was like COVID and they started filming, then stopped filming. People had to leave. People got replaced. Like, it's a whole mess, an absolute whole mess. I meant to and just forgot because I was doing things for podcasting or my homework until like 11 o'clock last night, that to go back and kind of read up on like what happened at the beginning. We know that Casey had COVID. She brought
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah, this is the second time that Casey got removed from a show because of COVID. The first time was Big Brother All Stars. She had COVID and she had to get replaced by an alternate. And now this second time. You'd think she'd be a little more careful.
So Casey and her brother gone. I do think
I'm
that
not
they're.
upset about this, by the way.
Oh, please. This is the best thing
I'm
that has
actually
happened
thrilled.
to
Like
us.
this, yeah,
Yeah.
this is the best twist so far.
Casey's so boring.
So boring.
Last night in a mole Discord that I am in, because I'm all about the mole currently, and if you aren't watching, I don't know why. So good. We started talking about the challenge, and I was like, here's how you improve the challenge. And oh shoot, what did I say? Number 1, limit the cast size. Like, if it's individuals, I want no more than 16. If it's teams, I want no more than 20 people, like 10 teams total. Not everything has to be an elimination. Like, we can easily get a 12 episode season, and it doesn't need to really be more than 12 episodes. Even 14 episode season out of that. 2, sign rookies to a 2 or 3 season contract, because I think one of the biggest issues is we are not connecting with rookies. They are one and done. For example, and I'm not like a big Ed the person fan, because I just feel like, if from what we know about his brother from the
Ugh.
circle, that he's probably similar, but
Yes,
whatever.
I
He
would
was
assume.
good for the challenge. He was great for the challenge last
I
season.
stopped watching, so I
I
don't
picked
know.
up watching again.
Okay.
But he was good for the challenge. He's first of all athletic, second of
Hmm.
all a big personality. Like, why is Ed not back? Other rookies that have had an impact, I don't know, they're fleeing my head. Ed was my example for it, but especially because so often it becomes the vets going after the rookies. The rookies are there for like 1 to 3 episodes, don't really get to make
Yeah.
relationships. Force those people to come back, because then at least, like, okay, we know them and they get to come back and create relationships. Like, Michelle Fitzgerald is back this season after being a rookie on a very, like, we're getting the rookie season. She wasn't there for a lot of episodes last season. Hopefully we can see her like thrive a bit more, because otherwise, like, we can't keep counting on these people like Nani or Anissa or Nelson or Corey um to like carry the season.
Hmm.
Listen, Seth, are we trying to pre-commit to 2 to 3 seasons of Tommy and Annalise? You
You're
have
like,
to
I
take.
don't want that.
No. Here's the thing. You have to take into consideration my first improvement, which is limit the cast number, because if we're at 16 and not 28, you don't need the Tommies or Annalises. And honestly, I didn't really mind Tommy, but you wouldn't need.
He'll grow. You'll grow to have him get on your nerves. I don't want to say hate him because he's like
No,
not
I
that
was
bad,
saying
but
Tommy from last season, not Tommy this season.
Oh.
I actually wrote down these Big Brother people, I don't know them, Tommy and Annalise, and it's literally the only thing I wrote about them. I was thinking, my bad, you're correct, this Tommy. But if we do step one, we don't need the Tommies and Annalises of the world, because there's less people. You can pick like the cream of the crop and not whatever part of the crop they are. And then number 3 is stop casting Casey. That's number 3.
Yeah, that's a great improvement. Unfortunately, I feel like they are acting as if Casey is like the future of this show, and like that's not good TV. Casey's not like an Evelyn. She's not a Laurel. She's boring as hell. Like, sure, she's good at competitions, but she's boring.
Yeah, she can't be the future of this.
No.
And so I'm not wishing long COVID on anybody, but if you could keep getting COVID, like
she had like
right
full
around the
knee
time,
reconstruction surgery or something. She was back like the next season.
yeah,
She's coming back.
yeah. Well, especially because her and Nani are dating, that it's like,
Right.
oh, we
Which
can
like
have
Nani,
a couple in
let's
the
have Nani
house.
retire. Let's force a retirement on Nani.
Oh, I'm lying to you. Ban Casey was number 4. Number 3 was, if you reach 10 seasons on the challenge and do not win, sorry, you're not welcome back. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, no,
Anissa,
I'm with
gone.
you.
Nani, gone. Unfortunately, hot take, Leroy, gone. Like,
Oh, well,
I know.
I'm personally invested in Leroy winning a challenge, but he's never probably going to come back. So,
Well, that's the thing. I would love for him to, but also you had 10 chances to. And like, yeah, you got screwed over like the season of you and Naya. I
yes,
think
he
that you could
did.
have won then. Um, but at the same time, like, if we're only casting 16 people, that's 8 men. I want all 8 to have a legit chance to win. And like, if Leroy hasn't done it in 10 seasons, why is he going to on the 11th?
Well,
That's
I
all
think
I'm
this actually
saying.
would have been a really good season for Leroy. Obviously, Cam just had a baby. Congrats to
Oh,
them. I love
this would have
them.
been
But
an
if Cam and
amazing
Leroy could have
season.
been together as Ride or Dies, like this probably would have been Leroy's season and Cam's season. Like Cam's me. Well, Cam won? No, Cam did not win.
Cam has not won. I don't disagree with that statement. But unfortunately, Leroy falls victim of my rules. So that's where I would improve it. But
Yeah.
maybe the asterisk could be on something like, okay, well, Cam hasn't, and you guys are clearly ride or dies. Like, you have a child together. So, okay, Leroy, you're the I before E, except after C. You're the after C of this rule here. Come on in. And if anybody makes a scene, I'll go to bat for you. But no individuals more seasons for you, Leroy. You can't do it on your own. You need a strong woman to lead the way for you, because that's what Cam is. Cam
is, yeah.
I hope
Cam and Leroy
comes
both
back.
like power couple. I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah, they're great. So anyway, that's my those are my ways to improve the challenge. And then someone else added to ban Fessy, which like obviously, but
Yeah.
I just didn't know the vibe of this Discord where we were already getting a little bit of like Casey is boring slander. And it was very like 10:30 at night and I should have been doing my homework. That I did not need to get into a full-on fight about Fessy,
Yeah.
but people agreed. So I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll gladly add that on. It can be ban Casey and Fessy.
Yeah.
I wanted to say just like get rid of Big Brother people. But again, I wasn't in the mood to fight.
I don't know
At
that
least
that's
with
an
like
unpopular
typing.
opinion.
Yeah. Can we really quickly mention how Fessy, his name title on the show is not Fessy, but I'm not sure how you say his actual
Fessel.
first name. Okay.
Fessel.
Yeah. I don't want to like
I
mispronounce
think
it.
that's how you pronounce it, Fessel.
Yeah, so I'm not mispronouncing his name in any form of disrespect because I don't respect him, but it's just an accident if I do. So I just think that's interesting that that's the name title that we're getting versus Fessy. So
Yeah,
just want to
that's
point that out.
interesting. Has it? I guess I've never noticed it before. If it's ever been just Fessy.
I think I would have, and I'm pretty sure it was Fessy. And I'm wondering if it's because he's realized that his name matches the style of his game. And last season, Amber B being like, messy still Fessy. Wait, Fessy still messy. Like when he put her in, which I just rewatched that episode this week. How rude.
So rude.
It
That
was
wouldn't, I
so
mean, I would
dumb.
be surprised if he didn't make that connotation before because his Big Brother game was a disaster. Like a disaster of
Yeah,
comedic proportions.
he's the only person whose Big Brother game I like know how it went. I think I told you this. I sat next to Scotty at a Survivor Challenge finale at like a bar in Chicago,
Mhm.
and he was like very appreciative because I didn't talk his ear off about Big Brother the whole night because I don't watch it. Um, so I forget how it came up, but he was like, "Yeah, Fessy did me dirty." Like he
Oh yeah, he did. He did. He did him dirty big time.
Yeah. So we talked about that. That he's literally like one of the few Big Brother players that I know just like didn't play a good game
Oh,
because I got to
terrible.
talk to a different Big Brother player. All right. Things we hear about this season. We know it's a personal season because we have the ride or dies, and Michelle says that personal seasons are going to be the messiest, which valid. Um, let's see. Anything else about the format of this season at the beginning of it? No, we just kind of meet some of the pairs and we get a little bit of introduction. I don't know if we necessarily need to run through all of these pairs, but again, like we said, because we don't even know who's staying and who's going, and people are coming in and leaving at like a revolving door. But
The
let's
one thing
put it
I
this
would
way.
appreciate is if they would just put like on the Chiron below what show some of these people came from because I was
Okay,
literally Googling people. Like
so
Horatio, I still don't know who the fuck that is. Where did you come from? Were you on TV before? I have no idea. Are you just a
I,
random person? Like I don't know.
I thought I couldn't see them because I had the closed captioning on.
No, it
And
did not say.
okay, that's good to know. I was wondering the same thing. Horatio, the challenge 38. Where are you from? Who are they? Let's
Like
see.
I don't know.
Newcomer Olivia. Okay, where are you from? I don't care that you
That's why I'm
trust
like,
them
are
with your
you from
life.
a show or did you just show up?
Soccer superstar and all around nice guy, Horatio Gutierrez. Which, if you're a soccer super. Okay, he made it to the finals of I can't even read this. It's Spanish. Estados Unidos. Let's see. Something. What is translate? Oh my god. I'm on like 3 tabs for this show already.
See?
That's far
See?
too
Just
many.
put it on a fucking Chiron and we wouldn't have to do a deep dive.
United States exathlon? What is that even? What's an exathlon? Holy crap. Define exathlon.
There
Okay,
are layers here. We're peeling back the onion.
it doesn't even mean a reality competition series where two teams of physically fit contestants compete against each other.
Okay.
Wow. I really went full circle here. Okay, where is Olivia from?
She might just be like his friend.
She was on Love Island USA. Okay.
Oh, so maybe she's the draw here.
Yeah, and oh, shoot, now Kari, you cannot get into the groove of not pronouncing someone's name correctly again. It took
Horatio,
me
right?
Horatio. I don't know why. I was just like seeing it phonetically in my head, and I'm like, that's not it. You should have seen the first time I tried to type it out. There was like 4 extra letters that didn't exist in his name. Um, Horatio. Okay. So I do question if you're actually a soccer superstar because why are you on the challenge? You should be like
Mm-hmm,
training or playing.
mm-hmm.
Also, like this is a place where stupid injuries happen, and I mean, the fact that like Theo from when he was still like in contention to be on the UK's track team is over here on the challenge. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a weird move because I know if I was your coach or potential coach, I'd be like, are you sure you want to be jumping from car to car 30 feet above water? Water
Yeah,
hurts.
not a
So
great I mean, he's got some additional issues now that ail him, unfortunately.
yeah, unfortunately, that's a true tragic loss because he could have been great on the challenge.
Yeah,
His
I was a Theo
attitude
fan.
Absolutely. One of my favorite moments was when Ashley was like, "I'll throw us in. I'm already rich, bitch." And
Yeah.
Theo just like putting him in his place. It was so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, where is our StreamYard window? There we go. I'm back. I can see you.
Hello.
um, okay, so of the pairs that are here, any of them interest you, excite you? Who do you have an opinion on that you want to share?
I know it's not a popular opinion, but the second I saw Nelson on my screen, I was just like, oh, I'm in. Because Nelson is just like, he's good challenge TV to me because he's so dumb and he's so funny to me that I'm just like, oh, I'm all in. And then like just even later, he's like so self-deprecating and he like knows that he sucks. It just like makes me I'm just happy to see Nelson. He brings me joy like not a lot of other challengers do.
Nelsoned this episode.
Oh
He
yeah.
did it hard. First of all, the fact that it is now just like a running joke of like he hasn't
Right.
won a daily and now it's 51 straight challenges.
Yeah, that's really
That's
bad.
crazy. That's
Really
so
bad.
bad. And he would have come in first this challenge if he could remember his own age.
This is why I love Nelson so much. Like this is exactly why I love Nelson. He just makes me happy.
So I don't even care if we skip forward to it. Um, basically, the challenge for this episode, the daily challenge, was there was 3 questions that were personal to you and your partner. And so the first one was like you and your partner's cumulative age. And the other questions really don't matter at this moment. So they finish first and they do their check and it's like, nope. And it's because Nelson forgot that he is 33 and not 32.
Yeah, like rough go for my guy Nelson right out of the gate. But this is what makes Nelson Nelson, and this is why he's my favorite. He's my current favorite. I mean, my actual favorite is Darrell and CT, but like
Huh.
he's my favorite to watch right now.
Yeah. um I just was like, oh my God. And Nelly is in on it. Scuba Nelly knows that like he hasn't won either. So I feel like there's some extra pressure.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
he might be coming up on his like 10-year or 10 season banishment from me. So
Oh no. I see that. I see.
he's
I
been
can't stand
on a
behind
lot
it.
of them.
But he's at least entertaining.
He's definitely grown. He has
Yes. Yes. Because I used to hate Nelson. I was like
I
extremely anti Nelson, and now I'm extremely pro
yeah.
Nelson.
Okay, wow. The challenge wiki has so many ads at once that it's overwhelming and they move across the screen.
Yeah, that would be
Um
an immediate quit for me.
Rivals, how many seasons has he been on? He was on Invasions of the Champions? Oh, yeah.
He
Okay, I
was.
can't the formatting of this is too much for my brain. Here we go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 9.
Uh-oh. Oh, Nelly T.
This is 9. He's made 2 finals. But he's never gonna win a final because like he can't do
No, he's
puzzles.
never going to win a final.
I don't
He's
know if he
never going
can
to
even
win.
read, but like he definitely can't do puzzles.
I think he can read, but I don't think he can like say words in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, he is the reason for some of like the inside jokes on the subreddit, on the challenge
Yeah,
subreddit of
he's the
like
best.
if there's a post about Nelson, you can absolutely count on like
Like
different
toodles to
things.
you instead of kudos to
Yeah.
you or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, things like that being posted. All right, so Nelson and oh, his partner, Nerys, that's how you
Yeah.
say her name,
Hmm.
correct? Yeah, I think she's gonna bring some heat. She's already like, making out with people and we
Yeah.
know she's spicy. So, and the fact that they would have finished first, like, okay, I'm a little excited for her. She definitely like gave me something to look forward to with her being there. I absolutely agree with that. Anybody
I
else that you're excited about? Oh, go
well, I
ahead. I
will
didn't mean
say
to cut
about
off your
the
thought.
no, no, that's okay. I will say about the hooking up part of it. I know there was a lot of like discourse about the Challenge USA being boring because there was no like going out and hooking up and whatever. And at the time I didn't agree, but now that I'm like, oh, we're like night one and we're already going over like, oh, these people met in the airport. And first of all,
Mhm.
Nelson is our narrator, which I'm obsessed with. And there's like, they made out on the plane and everybody saw them. And then they're making out in the house. I'm like, oh, we did miss out on this for sure on the Challenge USA. Like
Mhm.
this feels like true challenge, like mess to me. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, we're back true to form here. So I'm
Yeah.
in. I'm in on this. I didn't think I missed it, but I really did miss it.
Yeah. And um when I was rewatching last season slash watching for the first time, it was hard to remember like where I left off. There was one point where Anissa's like, everybody in here is coupled up. Like, why haven't you brought me someone to couple up with? And
Yeah.
then in seeing this, it's like, it really is one of the like fun parts of this show that because it does affect the game. It really does
Yeah.
have an impact on it. And that was something that was missing from the Challenge USA. But yeah, the the little like editing that they did with like the clips of like the heads of people just like watching them make out on the plane
Yeah.
and
It was great.
which
That was great.
I mean this is not the first time we have like plain sexual
Jenna and
uh
Bruno.
yeah.
That was iconic.
Yeah, like the plane does really bring people together in ways which is like weird to me because all I
Yes.
want to do on a plane is sleep. So
Yeah. My anxiety is way too high
oh
for
yeah, you're
any
not a great
extracurricular
flyer.
activities. No, I'm not.
So, all right, we've got Nelson and his partner Nuri. So anybody else that you have a strong opinion on either
Yeah,
way?
I'm excited to see Laurel back.
Mhm.
I'm upset that Fessy's back, obviously, but we don't even need to talk about that.
Who is his
Um,
partner?
I have
Mariah?
no idea. His
All
friend
right.
or something? I have no clue who
Okay.
she is.
I'm gonna look while you're saying.
I haven't paid too much attention to who the partners are just because like we'll get to know them. I'm interested though in Amber and Chauncey. They seem like a nice couple. I enjoy their
Mhm.
dynamic.
She has CP tattooed behind her ear. Did you notice that?
CP?
His initials.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, I noticed the
That's a
tattoo.
rough abbreviation to
Why?
have,
Is
but
it
uh,
was
we
does
don't
it
need
mean
to.
something else?
Well,
That
yeah,
I'm
we
not
don't need to
thinking
talk
of?
about it. It's not
Okay.
podcast friendly, really.
Okay. Um, all right. So yeah, I noticed that. I was like, oh, CP. And I'm like, his name does begin with a C. And then when I saw it, his last name is Palmer, I was like, oh, she's got his initials tattooed on her. Or yeah, his initials tattooed. Here we go.
Hmm.
Who is this person? Mariah. She doesn't even have like a link you can click in this
She might just be
article.
like a friend of his, maybe.
Yeah, I think like Anissa, it hers was supposed to be someone like not famous as well.
Yeah. And like Casey's is her brother. Like I don't
Yeah.
think they're all from other shows.
Mm-hmm. Which okay, challenge stars Fessy. Well, they're calling her a challenge star already, which like
Okay, well,
bold
it's a little
move.
early.
But
Yeah, a little
they
early
went
for
on a
that.
couple of dates. Um, it didn't
What a
work out.
shock.
They're friends. She is physically in very good shape. That's why he picked
Oh,
her.
okay, good.
I hope. I mean, if it's someone who can deal with Fessy being like a shithead
The
partner,
worst
then
partner ever. Yeah.
God bless. Good luck, Mariah. But not enough luck to win. Like maybe you get eliminated fourth. That would be great.
It's a shame. I mean, it's not a shame for Haley because, like, good for her. She's doing way better in her life that she's not with Fessy anymore. But it's a shame that
Mhm,
Haley from Big Brother 22, who dated Fessy for quite a while,
mhm.
relatively long term, is not with him anymore because this would have been a perfect intro for Haley to go on the challenge. But she's actually like going to school and doing like real things with her life. So shout out to her. I just selfishly would like to see her on the challenge.
Understandable.
Bestie of your favorite Angela.
Oh,
They're
okay.
good friends.
Still following
Not on
her
the
on
season, but now.
after.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen her on Angela's Instagram.
Hmm.
Okay. For me, I've always enjoyed Jay. Obviously, Michelle is
Yeah, I'm
like
excited about
the
them.
queen, so that pairing is fun. I enjoy their
Yeah,
interactions.
they have a good confessional dynamic.
Yeah, and I also think that they bring a level of gameplay that the challenge is good for in terms of like social strategy and connecting people, and we see a bit of that in this first episode. So I'm excited for them. I know that you are not a fan of the next two pairs I'm going to say, but I'm going to say them anyway.
Okay.
And I'm completely bummed at the outcome of this episode because I'm a Kayla fan. For whatever reason, I've been a Kayla fan since her season of Real World. And I also watched Love Island, where her husband is from.
Oh, he's from Love Island.
He's from Love
I
Island.
thought he was
UK.
just some dude she met on Instagram.
No,
Okay, that
he
gives
was
me more
on,
insight.
I can't remember which season because I'm not good at that, but he was a bombshell, aka one of the people who come in during the season, isn't there
Okay.
originally on one of the Love Island seasons. Um, I think she's funny. I like her. I think that they were funny in their confessionals together. They talked a lot of shit. And
Yeah.
I would have appreciated a couple more episodes of that, but spoiler, they're gone. And then my last one, I know this is a hot take, and I asked on the internet why people hate Tori. I've still never really figured it out. If you
Can't
have some
stand Tori.
insight. See, I don't mind Tori. I don't mind Tori, and I like Devin. I think Devin is hilarious. And I know yesterday when I brought this up to you, you weren't a fan from like when him and Bananas had their thing. And I don't know if it's a defense of him. If people want to say I'm making excuses for him, it's fine. But like, he just shouldn't have been on television in that moment. His dad
No,
had just
totally.
died. And I think that he was projecting a lot and was dealing with a lot. I think that he's grown up a bit. We've seen him become friends with people that he's been enemies with. Like last season, him and Josh were in an alliance, and the season before that, Devin like woke up and thought, how am I going to torment Josh today? Like, I do think he has the ability. I mean, even him and Tori weren't friends for a while, and now they're friends. And so I'm excited for that pair because I like Devin. I think he's hilarious. I think Tori, I know we haven't seen Anissa, like spoiler, she's showing up. Like, I really like Tori without Anissa. But I've always just liked Tori. I don't completely understand the hate for her.
She gives off very like pick me vibes, and I also think she just has a huge ego. I just am not a fan of either one. I think they both have huge egos, and it's undeserved at this point in their challenge career. And I just find them both to be extremely obnoxious. So like, put the two of them together, and I'm just like, ugh. Can this team like just self-destruct in front of me, please? Because I can't stand either one of them. And I know I said that yesterday about Devin, and I agree with you. He should not have been on TV then. But I didn't like Devin before that, and this was like the peak of me not liking Devin. I just feel like the bananas obsession is weird. He like, it felt like he did that to make himself relevant. And then like, I don't know, he just like wants to be a mini Wes, and that like that really bothers me. And then that one season where like, Wes is my best friend, and I'm like, Wes is not your best friend. I'm sorry, he's not. You know who's Wes's best friend? Like Nehemiah or something. That's someone that could say Wes is my best friend. You are not Wes's best friend. Stop saying that. Just stop saying that.
Yeah,
Corey and Nelson, best friends. Devin and Wes, not best friends.
Yeah,
Stop saying that.
I feel like Devin has very much invested his time and efforts both inside and outside the challenge seasons to become well insulated in the challenge. Maybe
Like, I
not
don't like that
necessarily
shit.
well liked. I feel like he took the social route of what Cara Maria did in the physical route. Like, we know that Cara Maria was like, when the challenge wasn't filming, she was CrossFitting. She was like lifting horses. I don't know. Like, she was doing just crazy things to prepare. And I feel like Den has just done that socially, where he like last season was able to come onto the show, and the people that he was at odds with the most, he like hung out with and made peace with. And then because they were the strongest alliance in the house, the Big Brother Alliance, and like they're protecting him. And honestly, I did in last season understand the reasoning, because they're like, listen, Josh, you are never going to be a CT final. Like, we need to work together to get the CTs and the other big guns out. So like, basically, like, so the B team is running the final and not the A team.
Yeah.
So I understood it. But I've always just enjoyed them. And I think, at least from this, there's a level of self-awareness that I just don't know if they always want to show. When Devin made the comment of like, you guys think we're obnoxious. Like, how do you think we feel being us? Like, we know we're obnoxious.
I think that's why I also don't like them. Like, I just like, you guys know you're obnoxious. I just feel like it's like they're just putting it on. I don't know. I just find them both very inauthentic, and I don't like that. Like, it feels like they've lived their lives to be on reality TV. And that's something that I don't feel like I get from people who used to be on The Real World or The Road Rules, because reality TV was not what it is today when those shows debuted. So I feel like in the casting process, and like a lot of like Johnny Manatas has said this before too, like the casting process was so rigorous for The Real World that like they really picked out gems. Even the people you don't like, they make good TV. But then when you start like bringing in all these randos, it's just like it degrades the quality of the cast overall. And I feel like a Devin and Tori are kind of like an example of that. Sorry, Devin and Tori.
I also think that just goes with the changing climate of what reality TV has become.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you go back to like the 90s, the early 2000s, basically pre-Instagram, it's like pre-Instagram and post-Instagram of people went on reality TV like for the experience because they'd seen like, oh, I watched the first episode of Survivor and thought, or first season of Survivor, and like, I want to do that, like that
Yeah.
type of thing. And then the real world, the road rules, same idea of just like, I want to be the person that they're
Yeah.
focusing on. I want this experience. And then Instagram and the ability to like long-term profit off of fit
Yeah.
your celebrity that comes from being a reality TV star. And it's maybe not so much like big things. Like I think of Melissa with this and just how like
Mm-hmm.
she had opportunities, has kind of settled into her like stay-at-home mom life and everything. But just like things she explained, where now I'm sure she, as well as other reality TV stars, had these like bigger opportunities to make bigger money. They become TV hosts, whatever. Now it's like, oh, well, I can consistently make money by advertising this like tummy tea on Instagram if I make it on
Right.
this show. And I think that the reason people went on reality TV versus the reason people go on reality TV now is so different that we're like getting a different type of person.
Totally agree with you. Like, I'm fine with someone like a Jamie from uh Real World San Diego, the first one, who's now an actress. I'm fine with like
Mm-hmm.
the guy Kyle who was on Real World Chicago, who's now hosting like Good Morning Football on the NFL Network. Like, those people I'm fine with. Like, I'm glad that you guys were able to make it out because you signed up for like seemingly the right maybe you wanted like an opportunity, but the goal wasn't just to be an Instagram influencer. And like, whatever, hustle, I guess, if you want. Like, I don't really care, but like, it just doesn't provide it's not interesting to me. You're giving me nothing of interest whatsoever. You are the same as every other Instagram influencer that exists out there. You're not providing anything new. You're not giving me anything.
Yeah, at that time, like reality TV wasn't a career. Reality
Right.
TV can
Maybe it could be a
currently,
stepping stone to another
yeah,
career, but it wasn't like your entire career back then.
yeah. Now reality TV can be a career for people. And I mean, or it like allows you to then venture into like the businesses that you want to do or whatever. So I get what you're saying. I think we're just in like, I think it's one of those things where we almost have to lower our standards in order to be able to enjoy the people that are making their way onto the challenge
Well,
now
Kari, I
versus
think you misunderstand me as someone who wants to enjoy these people instead of hate watch them. That's the difference.
see,
I'm
how do
perfectly happy sitting in my
I'm
hatred
just
for these people.
I'm willing to take these people, like I'm willing to meet them where they're at. I think that's it. I
Mm,
am not expecting, like I expect a lot from someone like CT because we've seen his evolution over the
hmm
years. And like if CT were to all of a sudden start acting like, I don't know, a turbo per se, or like yeah, we can talk about it. Or I mean, I guess maybe even Devin, even though I enjoy Devin. Like I'd be like, what the fuck's CT doing? Like this isn't
Right.
CT. And um, but I'm kind of just like willing to meet people where they're at because I think it just makes the show easier to enjoy, I
Mm,
guess.
that's
So
fair.
that's
I start off with like an immediate dislike and then you grow on me like Nelson.
mhm.
Unless I have like a pre-existing note. Like Corey came on, I didn't hate Corey because I liked his Real World season.
Mhm.
Now I don't like Corey because he's an anti-vax weirdo. But like prior to that, I didn't have an issue. He's also annoying. But like, like I had some kind of like I already knew who he was. But if you're a fresh face to me, I'm already like at a 0, probably like a -3. And then like I'll grow or not grow over time.
Well, let's see. Corey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He only has his
Oh,
next one is his 10th, and then he's got to go.
well, I don't think he's ever coming back because he's not getting vaccinated. So I think he's done.
Honestly, again, for the same reason, like you're sometimes enjoyable, but I'm not mad about it. Corey and Tori last season, they did a little bit of like the banana shit that I feel like I'm not saying that we need bananas back despite the fact he shows up at the end of the season, but the people who know that they're not just on TV but need to produce a good TV show, like Corey and Tori last season when they lied to Amber B saying that Fessy ate her pizza, knowing that Amber B is fully angry still at Fessy for 2 to 3 eliminations earlier, throwing her in, blindsiding her. And Tori and Corey in their confession was like, yeah, it's been kind of boring in here. So we lied about it to Amber to
That's
like
pretty
get
great.
her riled up. And so I think like they're a bit aware of
Yeah. Well, I would
what
hope so. It's
we
been quite
need,
a while.
some planned debauchery.
Hmm.
So I did appreciate that in the slow and steady watch slash rewatch of 37 that I'm doing. All right. Someone I'm annoyed about that's coming back, and I'm surprised I'm saying this, but it just took 5 minutes on the fucking boat for me to realize this,
Oh, yeah.
is Turbo.
The worst. Just get him off the show. It was fine without him, and now he's just like a literal monster. Just get him off the show. It's not
You want to,
entertaining.
yeah, you want to talk about someone whose ego got too big too fast because you won one season of the challenge.
Yeah, like who cares? You and how many other people? I mean, not Nelson, but you and how many other people have won? Like, shut up.
especially he just like can't. I mean, first of all, the way he was talking to Laurel
Yeah,
about it
disgusting. He's
was
disgusting.
absolutely disgusting. And like I do wish that someone chimed in, but I also think that like Laurel is the type of person that doesn't need a man like talking on behalf of her.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I think it would have been nice for especially a man to be like, don't talk to women this way, Turbo. I don't care what you do in your country. Here, we're not going to speak to women like they are the dirt on the ground that we walk on. Because
Hmm.
as I'm watching this, I'm like, oh my god, I need Turbo to get eliminated. Like, please, he's asking you to throw him into the eliminations. Do it
This was
now.
the
Let's,
best part of like Nelson and Nerys being like, "You don't have to ask me twice." They just like
yeah.
make me laugh. They're a good comedic element to the show.
Hmm. I wish that there was an elimination on that boat right there. Let's throw Turbo
Me
in.
too. And I don't want to make a blanket statement about like Turkish men. I think
No,
that this is a turbo. This is a
no.
turbo.
I think that the reason I made the culture comment was I think on his earlier seasons that he was given a free pass from a lot of people
Mhm.
because they're like, oh, he's from a different country with different
Yeah.
cultural standards and blah blah
But now there's so
blah.
many people on the show that are
From
international.
dive, yes, and we haven't had that issue that
Yeah.
it's like, oh no, Turbo's just a
Yeah.
dick.
Yeah. Turbo fucking sucks. He sucks. Also, like Pussy Chicken is not funny. It wasn't funny at the time. It's not funny now. Stop making that your brand.
Mm-hmm. And just like take a joke like when when later in the episode when Devin pulls the dagger and he's like, Turbo, these are, keep these away, and he, what does that mean, what is that like,
Well,
what,
yeah.
it's a
This is
joke.
exactly why, though, no man stood up for Laurel because look how quickly Devin was like, I apologize. I apologize.
Uh-huh.
Like, he like was shaking in his boots. Everybody's scared of Turbo.
Yeah, because they're like, okay, I need security to stand by my bed tonight so that Turbo doesn't come and get me.
I'm actually surprised they brought him back, considering the rumor is that, because he had altercations with Jordan, that Tori went to production and got him kicked off the show when Tori and Jordan were together
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't feel safe. So I'm surprised they would have brought him back.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not happy he's here
Me
because
neither. He's horrible.
I need someone who, when Devin makes that comment to them, that they make a funnier comment back. And
Yeah.
instead, like turning to how Turbo did of just like, what does that mean? But and just like, Turbo, we're on a fucking TV show. Like, it is calm down. We're on an
Turbo said that
MTV
if
show.
Yeah. Turbo said that if he was like dying of thirst and Laurel gave him a drink, he would like rather die than drink a glass of water or something like
Okay,
that. I'm
bye,
like, dude,
Turbo.
yeah, okay, see ya then.
Yeah, I literally wrote Turbo's mad at Laurel for champagne. Devin calls Turbo the worst wedding invitation of all time.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was funny.
Yeah. I was like, that's true. All right. We get to the house. The house looks very nice.
Does look nice. Thank God. No bunkers, please. Like, I'm over that.
Yeah. Their workout area looks so good. Okay. We meet Johnny and Raven, who are like key characters in this episode. And apparently
Yep.
Jay knows Johnny from outside of the house. I have no
Where did they come from?
The Google. Johnny.
Can we get a Chiron for them, please? Especially since they're like literally the main characters of this episode.
I wonder if they expected Johnny the Challenge 38. It's bananas. Oh Jesus. I can't even Google someone. Let's try this.
Here, let's see.
Ride or dies. And look. Yeah, I think okay, this is probably our fault as podcasters. Maybe they were not as podcasters, but as fans, they were maybe expecting us to
know who they do research.
No, to watch episode 0 where they introduce everybody.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not watching that shit. Oh yeah, I forgot that existed. My bad. I guess I could have watched that yesterday when I was just sitting around.
I mean, I didn't watch
Love Island. He was a runner-up on Love Island. Johnny.
What season?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay, hold on.
Johnny Middlebrooks. Okay, let's see. Runner-up on the show. It didn't say. Sadly, his relationship didn't work out. Now I know his full name.
Oh my God, give a fucking explanation article. Hey, listen to our live research.
Season 2 of Love Island USA.
Okay. God, Jordan's haircut's just so bad in that picture.
Yeah, it's
okay, so Love Island. Jay's been friends with them. We have Raven, where I'm not sure, is she from Love Island?
But it seemed like he like met her and like flirted with her.
Okay.
What I got from their interaction was like, oh, we met and I asked for her number and
yes, she's not been.
She liked me, but then like, yeah, I think she just is a person who met him.
She's actually an influencer and actress that has previously been seen in Seal of Desire and Red Flags. So
that's where I know her from.
Huge Red Flags fan over here.
A huge Red Flags fan.
Seal of Desire, second favorite TV show of all time.
My 2 faves. Okay.
So she's been
recognize her
in front of a camera. Seth Ron says, biggest takeaway, increase Chirons by 2,000%.
Yes.
Yeah, I just need to know where people are from because it's a lot of new people. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
So we get introduced to them. They become important characters this season. Johnny is already in the middle of making out with Nerys. Raven thought that her and Johnny could potentially have something, but he like shut that down very quickly in their confessional together.
He literally was like, it's my bad because I like accidentally flirt with her, but like it's never happening. Yeah. It was pretty harsh, it felt like.
Yeah, it was like, oh.
You're like, ouch.
I don't like how friend zone is used in a negative connotation because I do think it is like okay to tell someone that they are a friend, and if that means putting them in the friend zone, I just think that means you're like being honest and establishing boundaries. And it doesn't necessarily need to be taken in this like way where we need to revolt about the word. But yeah, he did that very harshly.
Very
intentional.
My sense is this is not the first time that he's had this conversation with her.
Yeah. But also then like, why are you bringing her on TV with
It's a great question. That is a great question. If you don't want to set the wrong expectations, maybe don't bring her on TV as your ride or die. I don't know, just a thought.
And then double down on it by making out with someone on a plane.
Yeah, and in the house multiple times.
Yeah. So we have that pair who we'll get to them later, but we just got like a lot more introductions. I'm sure you enjoyed this, but Nelly T got the toast spot. How do you feel?
Loved it. I was like, oh my God, my guy Nelly. getting the toast. It was a mess of a toast. I mean, like, he barely said anything, but like,
Mm-hmm.
just the respect that's been put on my guy's name. I love it. That's a really important spot. You know who didn't get
Oh.
it? Devin. You know who's probably
Mm-hmm.
seething that they didn't get it? Devin.
We also have a rookie pair from Germany and Colleen. It was on a show called The Mole, which is
Yes.
called whatever the German version is called. And she lies to people and
I
says,
loved this.
yeah, that she was actually on Love Island. And um, Jack, Laurel's partner, had researched everybody before they got there and
Okay, I
knows
want to
that.
talk about this. How did he know who was going to be on the show?
Do they have their phones when they're at the airport?
I would hope not, but maybe. Because this feels like a little bit like, oh, I'm going on Big Brother and I just Googled everybody that I was going to be on the show with. And now I'm
Yeah.
going to use it as strategy. Like, they should not know who they're being cast with.
Yeah,
Especially if it's a random person from Germany. Like, you don't know who these people are. It's not like you just like
Yes.
happen to look up all the people who could possibly be on the show. Like, you definitely would not expect these two random people to be on this show.
That and the fact that it's Jack's first season. It's different when
Right.
it's like you have, like those first calls go out, and I mean, Wes is notorious for it, for like sending
Yeah, they're
messages and
pre-gaming for sure.
yeah, but it's people that are already like established on the show. Um, no, that was weird to me. How did he know? And how is he able to research them?
And the fact that they said it on the show too, I'm surprised.
Me too. Me too. But he somehow, some way, researched and found out she was on the mole. Here's where he's wrong because the mole can't win.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, she lied because she was the mole. Like the mole has to lie throughout the game, and she won. Like the mole can't win the show. The mole. Your
Yeah. Is
goal
it
is
the
to
same
figure
in
out who the
Germany?
mole is. I'm assuming. Um, I actually did try to Google that yesterday, but it just came up with like it was not an easy research, but I'm pretty
I can see
confident.
that here. Believe
I
it.
can ask the mole Discord that I'm in. I'm
Great.
sure someone, because there's people who are far bigger mole fans who watch all the international versions, but
Okay, great.
I'm like 95% confident you can't win as the mole in the German version. So like he wasn't completely right about it. Yeah, she was on the whole time because like the mole doesn't leave, but she didn't win. So yeah, he like uses this as information, which like I guess rightfully so. If I found out she was lying, I'd be like, well, why are you lying about it? Because really, in all honesty, I would expect that almost none of them on there, if she just said like the German name of it and was like,
Yeah. Well,
oh,
I think
I'm on
it's literally
Das
de
Mole.
mol.
Yeah, okay.
De mol. DE space MOL.
Yeah. And she could have said like, oh, yeah, it's a show. Or you could she didn't have to say she was the mole first and foremost. She could have just been like, oh yeah,
She didn't have to say that.
it's a show where like you compete in competitions to win money. And like someone gets eliminated each week.
Yeah.
Like and just I don't know. I don't think anybody else there besides her partner, Kim, who is massive, by the way. He is
Mm-hmm.
like hulked out. But I thought it was an interesting move, a moley move
I
to
liked
lie
the
about it.
strategy. I liked it. And that's why I'm annoyed that Jack is like spreading it to everybody because like you shouldn't have known that she was on the show anyway. And she's using this as a strategy and now you're blowing it for her.
Yeah.
Like, let her lie. She's a rookie. She can lie.
Yeah. I agree. And we have her interacting with Fessy in
Bessie's so
the
gross
hot
to me.
tub. I was so mad during this when he was like, she's actually a smart girl. As in, like, women can't be smart.
Yeah, well, Fessy has no respect for women, period. So I'm not
Yes.
surprised at all that he would say that. Show me a woman that Fessy has respected. You can't.
I have
You can't.
nothing to say. No, the word actually is one of the most condescending words in
Yeah,
the
it
English
really is.
language.
It really is.
I try not to use it unless I'm trying to be condescending. That in that
Yeah.
case,
Yeah.
I will use it. But I think, it's one of my least favorite words. I have gotten into some professional conflicts due to the word actually. I had someone say, "Oh, she made a good presentation, actually." And I was like, first of all,
Yeah, excuse me. Respectfully, fuck off.
like, come into my class. I put on a good presentation every day.
Hmm.
Second, what do you mean actually? What did you
Yeah.
expect out of me? This is the same dude who called me out. He's like, "You weren't at 2 meetings in a row. I just thought you didn't want to do this anymore." I was like, "Well, I contacted the person who's in charge, which is not you. So
Ew.
thank you." And it's like, one, I was sick for, and then two, I had a last minute tutoring opportunity come up. And yeah, I'm gonna make $50 straight cash, homie, versus this
Yeah.
volunteer thing because you guys don't pay teachers to do extra work.
Right.
Anyway,
Also,
fuck
three,
the
mind
word
your fucking
actually.
business.
Yeah, fuck the word actually. um okay, anything else you want to get into before we talk about the Oh, actually, I do have one other thing I wanna get into before we talk about the daily challenge, is that someone's like, "Oh, it's so weird that Nani's not here," and Casey's like, "Yeah, where
Yeah.
is she?"
Oh, so you think Casey knew Nani was coming?
Absolutely.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's true. She would know, right? Obviously.
Yeah,
Obviously. I was really
absolutely.
naive being like, oh, it's so funny. Like, Nani's here. Now Casey's not here. Sucks for that. But they
How
definitely
d
knew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. There's no way that she didn't. So, I just thought I was like, "Come on, Casey, come
Well,
on."
this makes me so I'm so happy Casey's gone. Like, this is the best case scenario.
Mhm. Except maybe Fessy leaving.
Well, Fessy's at least like, it's fun to hate Fessy.
Yeah.
Casey's just like boring.
Yeah, she's just there. So our first daily challenge of the season is called Bolas for Blood. We find out here that Casey and Kenny had to leave the game. So this must
Bye.
be like the first thing they did after coming back from their
I
like
guess I had to do
COVID
a second
lockdown.
quarantine, right? Or
Yeah.
like a, yeah.
Because originally, like, I don't know how they edited stuff in and out of this. And that this is something I do want to talk about. I don't know if here is the time, but we get two teams join. We have Nam and his ride or die Emmy. We have
Mhm.
Olivia and Horatio join at the beginning of this because Casey and Kenny leave. Anissa was supposed to be on with someone from home.
Yeah.
So she was probably in the house that first night and they just completely edited her out because they brought in Jordan and it was supposed to be Naya to come
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
And
Which
Naya
I would
had
have
to
preferred.
bail last minute because of whatever reason. And then you also bring up like there is no way that Anissa and Jordan are ride or dies.
Are they even
Jordan
friends?
is Jordan is Anissa's best friend's ex-fiance.
Jordan is Anissa's. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Tori, yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no
Tori
way
and
that
Anissa
they're
are ride or dies.
right. There's
Yeah.
no way that they are ride or dies.
No.
And like I just hate the fucking lack of transparency on this show. I
Yeah.
would rather, it would be more interesting to me as a viewer that you put up a black screen with white text that says, at this point, some of our cast members tested positive with COVID. We had to
Yeah.
shut down for a week. And A, B, and C are now here because we had to replace these people. Like,
Yeah.
just give me the transparency as opposed to patchworking this episode
Right,
together.
right. Because then to me, the storyline of Jordan and Anissa having to play as ride or dies, even though they're not, is more interesting than them like pretending to be besties.
Absolutely.
Like, I'd rather see the dynamic of them like having to navigate it.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
Way
annoying
would
to
have
me.
preferred Naya though, and Jordan.
Mhm. Well, I think we wouldn't have gotten Naya without Jordan. We would Oh, wait, you mean Naya with Jordan?
Yeah, like I would have preferred
Oh,
seeing
I thought you
them
meant
together.
Naya instead of Jordan. I was like, I don't
No,
think we could
yeah,
have gotten
no,
that.
with
But
Jordan.
yeah, because my roommate came down and he was like downstairs while I was watching Challenge 37. And he was like, why aren't Casey and Nani ride or dies? I was like, well, what? Like I thought he was talking about the season I was like currently watching.
Mm,
He's like, no, on the show. Like, why aren't they partners? I'm like, oh, because I think it's co-ed. And he's like, that makes sense.
yeah,
He's like, yeah, because they're clearly ride or dies. Like, yeah. And I feel like Tori might pick Devin over Anissa because she knows she'll never win with Anissa, but like there's probably better ride or die pairs. So
Yeah.
yeah, it being co-ed. So yeah, I don't know. I just want like transparency. Like, okay, we're gonna replace 2 people because one, like, why?
Right.
Where did these
Right.
people come from? Why? And then, actually, I'll just hold off on that sentence overall. So we, this is where we get the insight on like, hey, Nelson, the producer. We hear the producer like, when was the last time you won a daily challenge? Nelson's like, it's been a while. So
Nelson is like, I know I keep just like gassing Nelson up, but like just how far we've come with Nelson. He started off as such like a shithead, and now he's just like the comedic relief and is in on the joke. And that just like, I just appreciate him so much for being on the show, because there's not a lot of like fun on the show sometimes. Like people get like too in, and like we need this fun element, and that's just, Nelson is so good at it. He's willing to make fun of himself, even when he doesn't realize that he's making fun of himself.
Mm-hmm. So, as we explained earlier, in this challenge, each team has to answer 3 questions about themselves in terms of like their team. And so, for example, what is your cumulative age? Another one is like multiply the number of letters in each of your names, and then add up the numbers of the year that you met. I think those were the 3 questions.
It's
and
fun.
Yeah, and we had this like mud pit where there was a bunch of bolas in there that had numbers on them. So they had to run into the mud pit, find the numbers that they needed, go back up to where the questions were, hook the bolas onto a rope. Once they answer the question correctly, go back, do this 3 times, and then they had to run across this area to the other side, hang their bolas up. If they were the first team to do it, they win.
Yep.
And I don't think there's like a ton to talk about within this challenge, and it wasn't like exactly the most interesting to watch. It was fun to like hear the quips between the teams, but like watchability, not the most interesting.
I watched this episode twice, and I still didn't fully grasp like what they were doing. Like I got like the idea of like, oh, these things probably have numbers on them and they're like answering questions, but it just didn't hold my attention.
Yeah. We did find out that Nelson thought he was 32 and not 33. He forgot his age, which held them back in the first question. I did feel bad for Colleen and Kim because they weren't sure what cumulative meant. That is a big word for like,
if you're not a native English speaker.
Yeah, because like we know, but I mean, in Germany, most people learn English as well, but you're learning it in like an academic context to then become conversational, and add would have been easier there. So I did feel bad for them.
Total. Just say total.
Yeah.
They should have been able to ask at least.
Yeah. Or someone be nice enough to tell them.
Production should have said. I mean, like you have international participants here.
Yeah.
Whatever. Here we go.
My ESL certification was just like I had a lot of things pinging in my head at this point that I could do a whole 10-minute spiel on it, but we'll keep it moving. If you want one though, I'll do a side podcast monologue of just kidding. So Johnny and Raven end up winning. Michelle and Jay were right behind them. And I love this because rookies winning the first challenge of the season means like, yes, they could potentially establish a rookies versus vets type of thing here. However, it means that the vets aren't in power right away. And let us get some rookies getting to create some relationships and establish like what's going on. So that was super exciting.
Yeah, I'm actually really liking Johnny and Raven so far. I think they're, as far as like, I don't want to say as far as rookies go, but like new people in the show, I feel like already they're making an impact within like the first half an hour of the episode, because, we had Johnny already hooking up with Nerys, and it's just like, oh, you guys are like really, you're bringing a lot already to the show.
Absolutely.
And then to win and add like chaos with who you're going to put in and whatever, I'm happy that this turned out the way it did.
I definitely agree. So what we find out in at this part is that they're going to have to pick 4 pairs to
which is a lot.
plead their case. That is a lot. I was like, "Oh shoot." Well, I what's funny is when he said 4, I took it as 4 people and I actually wrote
Yeah.
down 2 pairs. And now
Yeah.
obviously no, it's 4 pairs. They have to pick 4 pairs to plead their case in I think what's being called the interrogation or whatever. So, um the 4 pairs we get back to the house. Really like the only thing that happens is there's a little like oh no, that's later. Yeah, never mind. I won't even get into that. Basically, Jay says, like, I'm happy I'm aligned with Johnny. I'm not going in. Hee haw. Like,
Hmm.
happy for you as well, Jay. So they have to pick 4 pairs. We first check in with Johnny and Raven. Um, I wrote Johnny dot dot dot. I like him. He's smart. He's playing smart.
Yeah, he is. You could tell he watched the show. Like, he said that he's a fan of the show, but like you could
Yeah.
tell.
Yeah.
And he's not
And
scared to make a move. And I like that.
yes, absolutely. So we have Raven saying, like, let's take off all the rookie pairs, and Johnny going, well, we can't just like bring in all vets because
Yeah.
then that's going to be very quickly recognized as like,
Hmm.
whoa, what's going on here?
Hmm.
So we have to bring in at least one rookie team. Let's bring in Colleen and Kim. So we have Colleen and Kim. They bring in Kayla and Sam. They bring in Devin and Tori, and they bring in Laurel and Jack.
I loved this. I know I like just said this like 5 times, but I think I really appreciate Johnny also giving it like an extra thought. Like I like Raven, but I feel like Johnny is like pretty strategic for someone who's like never been on a strategic show. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. You can definitely tell it like the gears are turning. And
Yeah.
he's also making his own, or not he, but they're making their own decisions versus
Yep.
we didn't see like if this is a season with like Wes on it, we know we get a scene with Johnny and Wes before they
Yeah.
even go in being like, bro, we're
Right.
boys, like there's that. We didn't get any of that. Like Johnny was and Raven, because I want to count them as a team and not just give
Hmm.
Johnny all the credit here. She's a part of this too. Were able to make their own decision without a lot of influence.
Yeah, and I love that they're not exactly your point. I love that they're not like starstruck by the people that are on the show. So they're trying to get in with like the Devons and the Tories and the Laurels. Like, no, make your move. I love that. A lot of people I don't think would do that. Like if I were on the show as a lifelong fan, I don't think I would put CT in the first elimination. Like I would want to work with CT, even though I know I would never be able to work with CT.
Oh, absolutely. I would just want to hang out with CT.
Yeah.
So I need to work with them. I just want to hang out.
Yeah,
Let's
like
talk.
imagine CT being mad at you. That would break my heart.
Oh, absolutely. I just was thinking of like his partnership with Big T a couple seasons ago.
Yeah.
So the first 3 conversations were all pretty similar in my opinion. They talked to Kayla and Sam first, and I did think it was funny where Johnny goes like, "Why do you think you're here?" And Sam goes, "To make a deal with us."
I like Sam. Sam is funny.
Yeah, it's the British humor is top notch to me. That's probably like my favorite source of comedy. It's what we were talking
Mhm.
about with The Office, how like I really like the
Yeah.
first 6 episodes, and it's much more based on like British humor than but that's what I grew up on. So anyway, Kayla to their face saying, "Yeah, we'll make a like an alliance with you," or she actually said a friendship, but in their confessional, she's like, "We're not fucking working with them." And
I have some issues with Kayla's game in general, but I'll talk about it later because I feel like it's all encapsulated in this whole episode.
oh yeah, Kayla is not in a good place, like
No,
almost
she
ever
totally did this
socially.
to herself, I think.
I agree. We have Devin and Tori come in, and Johnny calls them the king and queen of vets. And we know before they came in, Johnny said, like, listen, Devin's smart. Like, I would rather work with Devin than against him.
Hmm.
So let's try to like cut a deal with them. And at least on the surface, it seems like Tori and Devin agreed to that. We'll see. And Devin said, like, I'm a man of my word. I would rather, I forget what he said, but like basically like
I think he
eat
said
shit
I'd rather like
before,
go in and break
yeah,
my, yeah.
break my word, which um Is that setting us up for a big
Maybe.
backstab? Who
Maybe.
knows? Again, another deal being cut with Kim and Colleen, and then they bring in Laurel and Jack. And they tell Raven and Johnny that Colleen was on the Mole, not Love Island. And they also kind of like take a little bit of a different approach to Seam than the rest of them. Laurel's like, I don't come in here with alliances. Like, I build my relationships based off of who does well in the game. And Jack going very old school of like, I would put in the people who are the worst. Like, okay,
No,
well,
the goal is never to put in the people who are the worst. Put two strong teams against each other so you have a better chance of winning. Putting in people who are the worst makes no sense.
I also just know, like, is Jack athletic at all? Like, is Jack going to hold Laurel back?
I
Anyway,
have no
that's just a
idea.
question that I
But
have.
that's just like such a, I hate that. Like, you have to be dumb to be like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, no, I'll just wipe out all the people I can easily beat and keep all the people that I can't beat at all. Like, that sounds like a
Mhm.
good strategy for me. Like, no,
Yeah.
don't do that. Don't do that.
You don't need, like, the meat shields in this.
Especially when you have
No.
a partner built in. Like, Challenge
Mhm.
USA, sure, it made sense because they were switching partners, so they want strong partners. But
Yeah.
in this, you already know who your partner is, assuming that nothing switches down the line, which sometimes a challenge does that. But like for a ride or die season, I would assume they would keep the same partners.
Mhm. So after this, we get a bar scene, and I was excited just to be like, "Oh, we're back out and people are, like,
Love it.
socializing," and Amber made a point here that I thought was interesting. She's like, "I've never really had a true ally in these games."
Yeah, she's not wrong.
She absolutely isn't wrong. So, I know that, like, Amber B has a kind of a she has, like, a mini cult following within the challenge community.
Mhm.
There are people who are very much like, "She can do no wrong," and I think it's because she almost, like I feel like this could be offensive, but I'm gonna say it anyway. She has some, like, early on Cara Maria vibes where it's like,
That is
no,
offensive.
no, but here's why. Cara Maria was, like, the underdog through and through. Like, she had no one in her corner, no one rooting her on, and then became this force, and, like, obviously Amber B won
Yeah.
very quickly, but it's still that same, like, even though she should have people who would want to work with her in the same way that Cara Maria should have had people who want to work with
I
her.
don't think Cara Maria should have had people. Cara Maria's personality was god awful in the beginning. Awful in the beginning.
I'm not
Still is,
disagreeing.
but
Not
like she did that
disagreeing.
to herself. Where Amber, I feel like, just got put in that position by like a Fessy and a Casey.
Right. And that was I was gonna make that differentiation where like the reason I think Cara Maria should have people who wanted to work with her is that she she wasn't bad at challenges. You know what I mean? Like she was able to hold her own and things in the same way that like Amber B won because she's able to run and be a good partner. Like, she was a great partner for CT in that final, and she held her own, right? So, where Amber B should have people who wanna work with her because they come from the same show, she from at least how it's presented to us, she doesn't have these, like, any, like, weird, annoying qualities. Last season, the girls on the show were very much like, she tells us she's loyal, she tells us she's nice, but she doesn't actually show it. Like, you shouldn't need to tell me this, just, like, be that. So, I don't know, like, what gets shown and how she is. I just think that it's probably easy for, like, Casey and Fessy to very much push the narrative and people to believe it because Casey and Fessy have power in the game, unfortunately. So, that's kinda, like, the connection I was making is that, like, they're both, like, outcasts, and I think they don't necessarily need to be outcasts so early on, especially for Amber B, who's fucking won. Like, you would
It's
want her on
weird.
your team.
It's weird. And I think part of it is because she was like not included in the Big Brother alliance as closely as like Josh, Casey, Fessy, which I think obviously Casey and Fessy were on the same Big Brother season. Even though they weren't working together on that season, they were on the same season together. They lived together for like 100 days ish. And Josh was on the season right before them. But Amber was on Big Brother 16, and I didn't watch Big Brother 16 yet. I will eventually, but maybe. But she apparently like got voted off because some guy was like obsessed with her, and it was
Yeah.
like a thing. So like she's just gotten the shaft, I think, across her time on reality TV. So, yeah, maybe that's why she has like this cult following, because she's just always been playing from a disadvantage.
Yeah, and I say all that to say I'm happy for her that she
Yeah,
has Chauncey here.
me too. Yeah, Seth knows me well.
We
Oh,
both clicked
sorry.
it. Go ahead.
Narrator, Katie would in fact not watch BB16 later. Yeah, Seth knows me. I'm just saying that. That's why I was like, maybe not, probably, maybe not. Yeah.
I'm still trying to convince her to watch Real Housewives of Miami, Seth. So we're
I'll get there.
Okay, right after BB16.
No, before BB16.
Okay, good. Because it's so good. It is so good. Season 2, so good. All the seasons besides 1, good. Season 2, so good. Like,
there's a new trailer for Miami next season coming out today at BravoCon. So like that's gonna inspire me to like get caught up before the new season starts.
When I say that, like, for me, I enjoyed it as much as like the early season chaotic New Jersey ones. Like, that's where I'm at. Like,
okay, that's a huge
I'm telling you,
it was like me.
It was so just like nonstop, and it wasn't like things being dragged out too long and just, oh my God. Anyway, if you're looking for great reality TV show, Real Housewives of Miami season 2, just get right into it. Okay. Also at the bar, we have Nelson and Olivia flirting. We have Jack and Laurel saying how they became brother and sister from their experience on X on the Beach.
I just want to say one thing about Olivia. She said a term like 5 times. I don't remember what she said, but it was like some kind of like vernacular that like is very Gen Z. Do you remember what she said? She just kept saying it over, and I was like, this girl's not actually having this conversation like this, right?
I don't remember at all.
Damn, I wish I remembered what it was. I noticed it again last night when I watched it, and I should have written it down. But like the way she was speaking, I was like, this is the most annoying person that I've ever heard speak. Like ever.
No, but this was when she was talking to Nelson.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll go back and rewind and look. I like a weird fascination for language and people using like terminology and stuff that they're not supposed to, because it's like created in a group that they don't belong in and then stealing and making it bigger. It's a whole thing. Yeah, but my TikTok timeline has a lot of videos that show up about that type of stuff. So
I'm like gonna look on the challenge Reddit to see if anybody else was talking about it, because it was like so egregious to me that I was like, ooh.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
After they get back from the bar, I thought this was funny. And again, this is like kind of why I'm mad that Sam and Kayla are gone so soon, where they're back at the house and Sam is just like being loud and drunk and British. And Kayla's like, I just need you to shut the fuck up for like 2 weeks. Like you can't be you for like 2 weeks. You cannot put this target on us. Like, please stop. And he's like, well, why not? Like, she's like, what do you have to offer to these people? You have nothing to offer to them. Like, what? Your mattress? Your pillow? Like, shut up. Just shut up. And Kayla, like, trying to control the social game, and Sam just being, like, loud and drunk.
This is what bothers me about Kayla. It's like, in the beginning of the episode, Sam is like, trying to go out, and she's like, just be quiet for 2 weeks, just be quiet. I'm like, okay, well, that's a little presumptuous that you'll be here for 2 weeks. I know they film like, what is this, like a 6-week show, but like, come on, I don't know. And then I feel like she just like held him back from being able to make relationships, and counted on the fact that she's been on this show so many times, but like she hasn't been on the main challenge for quite a while. She was just on All Stars, but she hasn't been on this version of the challenge in a while. She doesn't have a ton of allies in the house as it is. Like, none of the people that she typically works with are in the house. So why don't you let your husband go and make some social bonds with people to keep you safe? Like, it doesn't make any sense. She purposely was standoffish and didn't want to socialize or connect with anybody. And then look where she ended up.
Yeah.
Even when someone's offering her a deal, she's like, yeah, no, we're not working with them. I'm like, well, who are you working with then? There's no one here that you're friends with. Who are you working with?
It's a great point. And when you had said you want to talk about it later, I absolutely agree in the fact that like that annoys me about Kayla, because here's where I think one of Kayla's strengths are in this game. If Kayla is on your side, there is not going to be a single person in that house who has a stronger alliance than you and Kayla. Yeah, Kayla will not turn on someone that she is loyal to. And do you hear Nitro? I don't even know what
Nitro
he's barking at.
agrees.
Yeah, Nitro's. I just wish he would stop. Give me 1 second. Hey! You're all going to hear it because I didn't mute myself. What are you barking at? Come here.
We'll all find out together what Nitro's barking.
Are you barking? Oh, fuck. He was barking at Brett. Now he's all worked up. Come here. Okay, Nitro's back.
Hi, Nitro.
He's here. He's probably going to leave because Brett's out there teasing him. But, okay. Yeah. Kayla's strong point is her loyalty and being a good ally. If Kayla is on your side, you have a friend, you have a trusted ally. That person is not going to turn on you.
Yep.
And I think I've told you this. I see a little bit of me and Kayla. I am selective in my friendships. I do not have a ton of friends, but the people that are my friends, I will give you 100% of my friends. You do not have to worry about that. And I don't think that's a strength in this show.
Yeah.
Where you have to be willing to small talk. You have to be willing to foster relationships from the beginning. Like, you have to put in the work for it. To me, I think she probably thinks as people as like either like, this is my competition, or at most these are my acquaintances and then they jump up to like, this is my actual ride or die. That's not my husband. Like, this is someone who I will go to bat for 100%. And she's not good at that in-between game. She's not good at fostering the relationship. So she's lucked out in a lot of her seasons where casting has put someone who is 100% in her corner. But that's not the case here.
Right.
And so her social game, like Sam could have been the social strength in this. And
it's unfortunate that she just like tried to hold
stop
it back.
It.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Doesn't make any sense.
So doesn't help. But the next morning we get a little powwow between Johnny, Raven, Nerys, Jay. I think Michelle might have been there as well. And if she wasn't,
Amber was there.
Amber B was definitely
I think
there.
Michelle was there, yeah.
And Amber B saying, like, I'm not working with the vets. Every time I've tried to work with the vets, they basically will tell me, oh, fuck myself. So I'm cool with working with Jay and Michelle and the rookies. Fine by me. Jay and Michelle are also willing to work with the rookies. So we have a little rookie plus some, like, I mean, now you get called a vet if you've been there for a season, but some of the...
I mean, not in my mind.
Yeah. Some of the newer vets are coming together. After this, we go to the elimination. And now I'm excited to talk about the format that we have here because I wasn't ready for this. I was thrown off by it.
Me too.
The elimination is called You Move, I Move. But before we even can get into the actual elimination challenge, we have to determine who's going in. So Johnny and Raven decide that they're putting in Kayla and Sam. So Kayla and Sam
should have worked on that relationship, guys.
Definitely going into the elimination. The other 3 teams have to participate in a draw.
Yeah.
So in past
very much like the skull flip.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. In past challenge seasons, though, like the skull flip, for example, if you flip like the skull that basically you flip a certain skull, it causes you to go in right away. We have a little bit of a twist on this, which was exciting to watch for the first episode, especially like not knowing what was going on. So we get Devin and Tori pull theirs first, and it's a blank dagger. This is where Devin makes his joke to Turbo about like, Turbo, these are sharp, like keep these away from Turbo, and Turbo gets all dramatic, but we don't need to get into that again.
Yeah.
Then we have Laurel and Jack pull a dagger that also is blank. So I think both of these teams in this moment thought like, oh, we're safe, we're not going in. Colleen and Kim pull the last dagger, and that dagger says safe. Mm-hmm. So here's the big twist. One dagger that says safe, and then that team that pulls the safe dagger has to put in, they have to choose a team to save, which is the same as they have to put the other team into elimination.
Yep.
And we cut to Jay being like, oh shit, this is about to get messy, because if someone puts you down there with two of your friends, one of your friends has to like put another friend in. Like things are gonna get messy in the season. So I'm actually like kind of excited for it because this
Me
to
too.
me is like a nice twist to it. There it's gonna be so hard to avoid at least being thrown down into that. When four teams, that's so many of the teams that like
It's a lot of teams.
I like the idea that any week no one's safe.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
agree.
excited about this.
My goal is if I won power, if I'm playing and I win power, I would throw in four teams that I know, or like one team that I know I'm going to put in, and then three teams that I know are working together just to cause
Mhm.
chaos.
Mhm.
Because like I would want, if I'm me, I would want to put in Devin and Tori and then like two of their closest allies because I want Devin and
Mhm.
Tori to potentially be in a position where they have to determine.
Yeah, it's a way where like being well connected can be a good thing, but also a bad thing because then you are likely going to have to betray some of your connections throughout this season.
Yep.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait. So we get Colleen and Jack, nope, Colleen and Kim decide to save Laurel and Jack because it seems like Jack's a rookie and they want to like help preserve rookies, which is interesting because Jack was the one running around exposing Colleen's mole secret. So
Yeah.
he's like,
Doesn't
I'll
make
keep
any
my mouth
sense.
shut for now, even though he already told Johnny
Yeah,
and
like you already
Raven.
told people.
Hmm. So there's that. But that means Tori and Devin are going into the elimination.
This is like everything I want. Like Tori and Devin versus Kayla and Sam, give that to me.
Hmm.
Two like veteran teams, essentially, sort of. I mean, like Sam's not, but Kayla is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's another reason I enjoyed this first episode. Like these are all people that I am excited to see on this season. And it sucks that we're losing two of them. But no matter what, it's not just like I don't want to say two scrubs, but two scrubs going in the first week where you're like, oh, okay. Or where we've seen in other seasons where it seemed like the challenge purposefully when there was a chance for like Wes and CT to go against each other in that first elimination, that they made it like,
Mhm.
oh, it's a women's elimination, saving two of
Right.
their big characters. Like, no, you know what? Good on these people for making these moves and putting in your big names. And if they go home first, they go home first and like
Yeah.
cast them again next season and give them another chance, which like is kind of what Kayla and Sam said in a way in their exit interview. I don't know if you saw it, like because I
Hmm.
think I watched the extended version, which is just they show you the departing teams like final words
No,
essentially.
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think I saw.
It's usually like a longer it's like 30 as opposed to like the one or two lines they do after people get
Oh
eliminated
yeah,
on
no, I
their
don't
like
think I
way
saw.
out. So but yeah, they I'm glad that we get this like I don't want to call it a powerhouse matchup, but at least this matchup of people with big names in this show on the first week. Like,
It makes every elimination have stakes.
mhm.
Whereas typically, if a veteran is in power and they put a bunch of rookies in, it's kind of like we didn't even get a chance to know these people to begin with. And now it's just like, oh, they're leaving. So it doesn't matter. But this, like, it gives us stakes, which is what I also liked about the Challenge USA is that every elimination had stakes because everyone was on an even playing field.
Mhm. Absolutely. So the elimination is like a big maze. And outside the maze, on one side, it's almost like a skateboard type of thing on where
Hmm.
you have to like balance on it. And as you like shift one way, it moves the maze uh like down and then shift the other way, it'll move that side down. So like one teammate is controlling the left and right. And I maybe like better way to describe be like the east and west, and the other teammate is controlling the up and down of like the north and south movement. So you have to work together to be like, okay, you move your side down, then I'll move mine, and then this and that. And um, there was 5 balls they had to get out of the maze. I thought
I
this
like
was
this.
a pretty cool challenge. It wasn't like
Hmm.
the most fun to watch,
No,
but I thought they edited it well to not make us like sit
bored.
through too much of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that was like a cool challenge to do. Um, but before they like get into it, I thought TJ was just in a mood in this elimination because he's just like, there's a real shame in being the first one out of the
I
show.
love TJ's so messy.
He's really like picked it up over the last couple of
He really
seasons.
has. He really has.
I feel like do we not know like what did he like silently sign like a 10 season deal like TJ, don't worry, you're not going anywhere, like let it loose, let it rip, like
Maybe.
do what you want to do, given like we have season 39 definitely coming because season 38 didn't even get picked up until like a
Yeah.
third of the way through them filming, which was
I think we
hilarious.
know. I mean,
Yeah.
literally the only other show on MTV is Ridiculousness.
My dad's favorite show, so he loves it. I'm like, Dad, you can get this on the internet. He's like, yeah, but they put it together for me. I'm like, okay, Dad.
It's,
Um,
it's fair.
yeah. So, in their like pre-elimination interviews, the Tori and Devin were like, communication. They're a married couple. Like that's gonna be important in this, and um, but if they can't communicate, Devin says like somehow integrates like 60% of marriages end in divorce. So this could be like maybe they're not as good at it. Just like
Has it
Devin,
been
just like
upped from 50?
I think I thought it was 50. I mean, I would not be surprised at 60, but
Neither would I.
maybe that should be something we look up. I do use that as um I'm not like actively against getting married, but I'm also not someone who says things like, okay, Lavelle, we've been together for like 2 years. Like,
Right.
where's my ring? And dropping hints and blah. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Right.
I am fine living my life the way it is.
Same.
So,
Can I go on a mini rant about this?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, can I finish my my sentence here?
Yes.
So, one of my
Yes.
favorite things to say when people are like, especially people who are like, oh, you guys have been together for a little while. Like, are you gonna get married? I'm like, do you know the leading cause of divorce? Marriage. And people are like, oh yeah, that's true.
That's very funny. That's very funny. My mini rant is like my partner Matt, some know him as Glances, have been together for 8 years and we are not engaged. We're not engaged. We're not married. But the fact that people feel so comfortable talking to me and being like, whoa, you've been together for this long, like, fuck you. It's none of your fucking business what we do or what we don't do. And who told you that I was open to having this conversation with you? Oh, that's right. No one. So don't make me feel like I'm less accomplished in my life or that I'm less of a woman because I'm not married or I don't have kids. Like, politely fuck off. It's inappropriate and it's none of your fucking business. Public. Okay.
Yeah. Hey,
Okay.
listen, we've been podcasting together for however long, and I've known that you've been in a long-term relationship. I've never asked. You wanna know why? It's not
Yeah.
my fucking business.
But like you and I are friends, like
Yeah.
coworkers will say to me like, I want you to get engaged and have kids. I'm like, that's great that that's what you want for me. But like, do you care if that's what I want? Like, I just don't like, just because I'm a woman, it's my, like, you have to make me feel like I'm less than because I'm not like meeting your timeline.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah,
Fuck
yours and society's standards of like
Yeah.
what should happen. Dude, I get into this conversation, not this specific one, but just this type of conversation all the time with like that group chat of 10 women that I'm in, where it's just the like for a wedding, doing this, like moving in on this timeline, getting engaged on this timeline. Like, well, I was just like, whew, I could not care less about what anyone else expects.
Yep.
Actually, Lavelle and I were kind of talking about it yesterday because he was working like one of the places he works is like the biggest rooftop bar if it's not in the world, in America. So like it's very nice. It's right on Lake Michigan. You get a cool skyline
Nice.
view of Chicago. Like it's a very
Ooh.
nice place. So there was a people rented it out, and they do rent it out all the time for a wedding. And he was just like, dude, some of this wedding stuff is just so stupid. I'm like, yeah, I just like don't even really want to have a wedding. He's like, I'm cool with getting eloped, which we've like talked about before. I'm like, I think that we should just tell anybody that we would like potentially invite to a wedding to be like, hey, we're going to X city, whatever it is. So let's
Yeah.
just make up a city. Let's say New Orleans, right? We're going to New Orleans this weekend. If you want to come, come. And then like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we're going to meet up at this dive bar at like 5:00. And you show up and it's like, oh, welcome to our wedding. You're actually at our
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah.
Like,
Hell yeah.
here you go. You're going to see us do our little vows, and now let's eat like greasy food and get hammered.
Yeah. That's amazing. I'm all about like fine, you want to get married? Let's do like a nice dinner and like eat good food with like a small group of people that we actually like want to be there.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Wedding culture is too much. But we digress. The leading cause of
Yes.
divorce is marriage. Devin makes a similar comment. I did like that Kayla is like, how are we supposed to beat Devin in this? This is literally Devin's coffee table in his living room is a
Yeah.
maze very similar to this. So apparently
Yeah.
Devin's coffee table, he has like a maze built into it and you can play this maze. So I don't think that they were too confident once they saw what it was that they would
No.
be beating Devin and
But that's dumb to
Kari.
me because like Devin doesn't also have like these platforms that he has to like stand on to do the maze, and he doesn't have to do it with other people. So just like try and figure it out. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Politely, because Kayla, you know I love you. She's not the brightest crayon in the box.
No, she's definitely not.
So you know, I like it doesn't surprise me she's going and intimidating because she also like straight up knows that this is what Devin's good at. Like
Right.
Devin's known for his cerebral, maybe not so much his like physical
Right.
abilities, but definitely his cerebral. So Devin and Tori end up winning by a decent amount. Like I think that maybe by like 3 balls. So,
Four?
what did they only have one
I
that
think
got
they
out
only
with their
had one
puzzle?
ball.
Oh, okay. I
I
thought they
think
ended
they
up
only
with
had
2.
one.
I mean, regardless, it was not close.
No.
So after they like get down from their little surfboard things, and TJ just again on his bullshit. Sorry, love wasn't enough to get you through this game. I hope that your marriage lasts longer than your time on the challenge.
Honestly, a king amongst us.
It's as funny reading it out loud as it
It's
was hearing him
amazing.
say. I was cackling when he said it. Like the thing is, I'm not surprised, but at the same time, it's just so good. And
That's pretty savage.
yeah, and he does say he hopes that he sees both of them in the future. Which like, I wouldn't mind seeing Kayla back. I wouldn't mind seeing Sam back. Whether or not they're operating as individuals or as a pair, fine. But
Sam made me want Kyle back.
yeah, Kyle's a father. He
Yes.
It's actually this is probably the first season in a while that Kyle hasn't been on. I think he did like 7 straight.
Yeah. He's been a
Kyle's
staple.
Kyle's quickly reaching his
Very
10
quickly.
season mark.
Yeah,
So
very quickly.
yeah, he's funny, but they're gone. Maybe we'll see them back in the future. And then after this, we get TJ saying, you know, this is a ride or die season, and we have true ride or dies that are joining. And what here is Johnny Bananas and Nani.
Yep.
What's your opinion of this duo joining after the first elimination and just this duo joining in general?
Okay,
Oh my God.
so
I just turned annoyed. I did not know that Nitro was standing there. And he was just like looking at me like, bitch, get off that computer. You were on there so long yesterday. I'm
I
sick
know
of
it's
it.
true.
Let's go. I'm like, bro, I still got to do a homework assignment. So don't look at me in that tone of voice. Oh, he wants to go outside. Come here. Go
My
ahead.
feelings on okay, so I'm not a Johnny Bananas fan. I do not typically like Johnny Bananas. He doesn't do it for me. I was happy that he took some time away. I was more happy when I felt like he was cursed after stealing Sarah's money. I was like all about that curse, and then unfortunately they rigged it for him to win. So yeah, I think when he walked in, I was like, okay, now it's the challenge. Like I felt the weight of Johnny Bananas walking in, and I was like, all right, I'm psyched. Like now I'm psyched. Like this is shit's about to go down here. And I was excited to see him. And I've never in my life been excited to see Johnny Bananas before. Nani, not so much. Like give me him with, I don't know. That's the thing though. It's like who would be, him and Sarah would be such a good duo.
Oh,
but like
Sarah
obviously
would
that
never.
would never happen.
Did
But
you
like,
see the exchange that happened on Twitter? Sorry to interrupt.
No, I didn't.
Like, it was pretty good. Bananas tweeted at like American or Delta, some airlines, basically saying something along the lines of like, listen, my flight's delayed. You tried to give me this much money. Like, I'm an honorable, integrable person. Like, please give me this or whatever. And then Sarah replied to a tweet being like basically calling him out for like stealing her money and that they should give her the money instead to make up for like the trauma that she had gone through. It was pretty funny.
Are they like fine now?
I think that my guess is that if you are Sarah, especially, how many times you've had to talk about this situation that like she's successful in her career at this point. You know, like, does it suck that Bananas did that to her? Absolutely. But I feel like you have to kind of like grow numb to it with how many times she's
Yeah.
had to talk about it.
Yeah.
So hopefully she's at the like cracking jokes point in this
Hopefully.
whole thing. But
I rewatched that reunion recently. I saw like a clip of the best fights at the reunion, or like the most dramatic challenge reunions or something. And that was on there along with Paulie dancing at Josh, which is just like so, and then Bananas just going like, that's the only other time I've enjoyed Bananas is like that face at Paulie. I don't know. I'm not a Sarah fan in general, to be honest, but like I think that would have been like a good matchup for I'm not on Banana's side in that situation. I think it was terrible, but like I'm also not a Sarah fan. So I have like mixed feelings about that whole thing, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's part of the game. It was in the rules of the game. Sarah, like, stop crying about it is how I feel, even though I wouldn't have done it myself if I were Johnny Bananas. But I was excited to see him. I don't like Nani. I used to like Nani, and I'm just totally burnt out. Nani's like another Anissa to me. I don't think she's ever going to win. Like, I just feel like it's pointless to have her on the show. She's overrated. I would have preferred to see Johnny with someone else. I just don't know who else. Maybe like Natalie Negrotti?
I think that this is MTV's.
Or if he was still with Morgan, maybe being
Yeah.
a partner with Morgan, but they broke up. So
Yeah. I think that this is MTV's way of like trying to get Nani a win. Like if you can't win with Bananas, who
right.
are you going to fucking win with?
Well, that's why I feel like they just like rig it for people, and this
Yeah.
is what just I mean that's as much as you can rig it for Nani is to put her with Bananas. Not guarantee that Bananas is gonna win, but like I don't know. I don't know. But I'm happy to see him. I'm excited. I was like, ooh, this is a face that I haven't seen in a long time that's gonna spice some things up. Without the reason I'm happy is because his full crew is like not there with
Yeah.
him.
He doesn't have his normal puppets. And
Yeah,
there's
he's
enough
not
people.
insulated.
Yeah, like there's enough people where they can try and take him down. Like you can have
Yes.
the alliances that have formed. Like obviously Devin and Bananas have had their shit. So like if you've got Devin, Tori, Fessy, I don't know who else, maybe Nelly, like some yeah, I don't know. Laurel might work with I mean, I could see Laurel and
Laurel will
Bananas
probably
pairing
work
up.
with him. Yeah, I think Laurel will work with him to start. Tori maybe, but
I
the
could see
problem
them
is,
going against Bananas just because like, no, this is our turn. Like you've had your
yeah, I could see
turn.
that too.
Get the fuck out.
I could see that
This
too. But if it does feel like the rookies are making a move against the vets, like it would benefit the vets to get together and go against the rookies. Like it would benefit. And I
yeah.
don't love that. Like we've seen that so many times. But I think with Bananas coming in, and then we see Jordan and Anissa coming in, and then we see, I'm sorry, I'm spoiling all this for everybody, but it's in the preview. We see Darrell and Veronica coming in. It's like, okay, we're just like stacking now this vets side.
Yeah. We are, and that's kind of annoying, especially, and this is a point that I want to bring up, is that we had Johnny and Raven come in and very intelligently put a rookie pair in to the four with
Yep.
three other pairs where they were purposefully targeting people who have like established credibility in this game.
Yep.
There is no way that Johnny Bananas and Nani are not one of those four
Oh, yeah.
pairs if they're there. And so to me, like, I hate the fact that they get to waltz in after a situation where they would likely be in that elimination.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, no, it's
probably
true.
might have been like, it would have either been, in my opinion, Kayla and Sam versus Bananas and Nani, or Tori and Devin versus Bananas and Nani. And instead
Which,
they
like,
get
give me
to,
that. I want
oh,
that.
absolutely.
That's what
And
I want.
so to me, it's so fucking annoying that they get just walk in and be like, they get to miss this round of potential targeting because they're Bananas and Nani.
Yeah. But I guess, like, is it worse to be or is it better, I don't know, whatever, worse or better, to be Johnny and Nani coming in at the end of the first elimination where there's still not a lot of rookies there. I mean, still not a lot of vets there for them to work with and try and like get some footing? Or is it worse for us and more rigged for them to be in a Jordan position or a Darrell position coming in so late
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, you've missed all of these things and now there's already a rookie and versus vets situation going on that you can fit very nicely into 3 weeks from now. Like that, I feel like now at least they still have to do some work because they're not insulated. But like by the time Darrell and I don't know who comes first, if it's Darrell and Veronica or if it's Jordan and Anissa, they're going to walk in and just be like, oh, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I'm just going to be numbers for the vets. And that's what they need at this point because it's already established.
I mean, that definitely obviously is a better place to be because you can start making relationships earlier. I just hate overall the bringing people in.
Me
I don't
too.
think it's
Just bring
fair.
everybody to the beginning. Yeah. I don't
Especially
like that either.
I mean, someone like Darrell and Veronica who have aged gracefully but have aged, like the benefit to not having to do the first like half of the season or whenever they come in is such a huge advantage. And like
Huge.
all of that annoys me. It just like if you want people to take your show, I don't want to say seriously, but like you can't just throw in people
Yeah.
like a third of the way in or whatever it is. Like have everybody who's there be there. It makes me very mad. Everything you said about Banana showing up, like absolutely, I think it's going to. I mean, I was already kind of impressed with like what we had going on in this
Oh, me
first
too. I don't
episode.
need
So
bananas.
Banana is definitely going to come in and stir the pot in ways that he does, and as problematic as he was, or maybe still is, I don't know. He hasn't been on my TV in a little while. He knows how to make good TV.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's obnoxious as hell, but like
Yeah,
I'm happy to see him back, I guess. Like or I'm interested to see where it'll go. I'm not
yeah.
going to be happy if he starts steamrolling everything and like running the show and just doing whatever
Mm-hmm.
he typically does. If he's
Yeah.
in at a little bit of a disadvantage, then I'm excited to see him play the game and like if he wins and earns a win, then I would be like, okay, that would be interesting to see. If he has to really fight to get there and like the rookies are really throwing him in, but I'm a little bit nervous because we do have like this group of vets continuing to come in. That's just going to keep like padding. Even if vets go home, it's just like, oh, well, here's another group to like pad these numbers.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks to
If
me.
it's like you're a rookie, you're like, what the hell? Like, I made a big move just for MTV to be like, nope,
Yeah,
here's two more legends who have
right.
15 years of pre existing relationships
Not only that,
that,
but it's Bananas who has won the most.
mhm,
It's Darrell who has won the most consecutively, and it's
mhm.
Jordan who's just like
A
a
beast.
like a top tier athlete. It's like not
Yeah.
even like it doesn't even make sense how good Jordan
Hmm.
is at like athletic competition.
Hmm.
So it's like you don't even get. It's not even like it's I don't know, like a Corey who's kind of like a flop
Yeah.
who you would have a chance against. It's like you're
If
bringing in
Corey had
literally the
walked
greatest
in,
male challengers ever.
if Corey had walked in, I'd be like, oh, thank God. Like, this isn't a
Yeah, I'd be
big
like, oh,
deal.
this exactly.
Cool. Welcome, Corey. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what annoys me, but I do agree with your point of like what bananas can bring. So
If
I
it was
know we need,
only Bananas and Nani, I would be happy with it. But the fact that
yeah,
we have
but
like
there's
more
more.
coming, I'm annoyed about it.
It's just like the lack of transparency as well. Like, get weird with your rules. Don't get weird with like how you're adding people. It just makes it
Hmm.
so again, like makes it so hard for the rookies and you wonder why people aren't connecting to the show. You bring in new people
Hmm.
just for them to get like bounced immediately by these vet alliances or when they
Yeah,
do make moves like Johnny and Raven are currently now going to be in a place where if the any vet gets power, like they are on the
they're going
chopping
in.
block.
Yeah,
And
and that
so
sucks.
I don't know. I'm frustrated with that component of it. I still enjoyed this first episode more than I would, and I think that was
Yeah,
just
me too.
lingering anger from Challenge USA. But I'm excited for next week and to see how things go.
Me too. What I think I would prefer is if what they did like back in the day with like the mercenaries, like
Hmm.
if they brought them in as mercenaries and they won an elimination, then they win their way into the game. But like don't just let them
Yeah,
walk in.
yeah.
I don't know, whatever. We'll see how it goes. I'm not like out on it. I just
I
I could
think my
see
frustration
where
kind
it's
of like
going.
carries over from the final of the Challenge
Oh
USA, where
yeah,
it's just like
totally.
so a lot of the bullshit that the challenge has done in the past I think is easy to overlook in how they manipulate things, but like just how stupid the challenge final was, I could still do another 30 minutes complaining about it,
Oh,
that
me too.
and so then, like episode 1, we're back on our bullshit with this lack of transparency and people coming in and like people replacements and all this stuff. Like, just fucking tell me. That's all I want. I'm not dumb. Like, also, it gets out. That GamerVev is telling the kind of behind the scenes shit. So do you want to control the narrative, or do you want this random ass anonymous Twitter account controlling the narrative? Like, take control of the product that you're putting out to us, and like stop treating your fans like we're stupid. We're not stupid.
Yeah, this gives me very much like the Big Brother fandom, I think, suffers from this a lot too, because we have feeds. So like we are watching the feeds, and then, maybe they'll cut the feeds for certain things, but then we find out what goes on behind the scenes. And it's like they try and control this narrative or build a narrative that's not what's actually happening. And I feel like, it's much more transparent on Big Brother because we can actually see it. Mm-hmm. But when you have people like a Pink Rose or a GamerVev or whoever, I don't know if Pink Rose is still relevant. I see GamerVev all the time, but yeah,
it's like, I guess J Challenge, I think.
Yeah, J Challenge, GamerVev and Pink Rose are like the challenge spoiled people. They're like in it. They know everything. Yeah. They obviously like Pink Rose obviously works on production or has like a genuine connection with someone that like is TJ Lavin himself or something like that. But like every single detail gets leaked as it happens, every single one, and it's always accurate. There's never a miss. So it's like I think know that that's part of the culture of the show.
All Stars, Naya, they reported that she finished in whatever place, and it wasn't. And she even commented on the picture saying like, I actually finished in blah blah blah.
Oh, that's really funny.
So they're not 100%, but they're up there.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. It just feels like why just put some thought into it. Give us a little respect.
The Bachelor kind of did it with Reality Steve, where like they knew that he was spoiling their shit, and so like they started to do things to either like throw him off or just like they're very much aware of him. And to me it just seems like, why are we acting like they don't exist? These spoiler
the challenge is very clearly aware of these accounts as well, because the cast interacts with them like a lot.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, obviously, I don't know.
Yeah, anyway, I want some transparency.
It is frustrating.
But
it's frustrating.
It's fine. All right, I
get frustrated.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I also get frustrated with cast members who are shitting on the Challenge USA people for quitting when like you obviously know what went on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And they didn't give them the rules of the final. So like maybe shut up about it. I don't know.
Yeah, like fucking Fessy.
Yeah. And like Bananas. I think Bananas was like talking shit about them too. And it's just like, whatever. Not everyone can just like sit in a tent all night and do Adderall and then win and steal someone's money. Like, or like just get handed a win when it really should have been Jenny's.
I think like Tyson and Bananas kind of were like doing it on purpose. and then like other people got podcasters. On
The Ringer, right? Bananas podcast is on The Ringer.
Yeah. So I think that there was a little bit of PR behind that one, but then other people jumped in, not being smart enough to realize that there was PR behind that one.
That makes sense.
That's my educated opinion. So
I could see that.
Yeah. No, I agree that Fessy, shut up, because you've had how many tries and you were competing against, I think, like a lower tier of competition than they were on the Challenge USA, and you haven't won shit. And by the way, you never would have gotten drafted in the NFL. Like, you were not.
Yes.
I remember asking my roommate about that, because my roommate's a massive like sports nerd, and I was like, would he have actually? He's like, no, he wasn't even close to it. Like, he put up good numbers in D1, but he was in a really shitty conference. Like, he's not playing against the caliber. And he's like, no, never would have. I'm like, okay, good to know. So shut up, Fessy.
For anyone who wants to laugh at Fessy, go just look up the drama that Fessy started between him and Danny. Because Danny Danny did not hold back. Neither did Kiki. So Kiki got
Yeah.
involved, and they ate Fessy up, and they left no crumbs. So
Yeah. Why
Fessy's a
are
loser.
we
Continues to take L's.
doing this with Kiki?
Like, you're really fighting with a man who was a professional football player and then won the challenge. Two things that you were not able to do.
Yeah. It was my knee. If I hadn't, shut up. Just shut up.
Literally, shut up.
All right. I know you have another podcast after this. You have a very.
We pushed it back.
Oh, you did?
We did.
That's why I was like, oh, we got to wrap things up. But
We pushed it back.
okay. I mean, we've already been talking for 2 hours anyway. So,
yes.
Okay, cool. So let's wrap this up so you can go and talk about your next hot topic, which is Star Wars. So
Thank you. Yeah, if you guys would like to shoot me a follow, I'm on Twitter at RealSimKatie. I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealSimKatie with an underscore at the end. I'm also on Silent Podcast talking about a few other things. I talk about House of the Dragon with Chanel and Javier. I talk about Andor with Naomi. I talk about Housewives with Kari on the Cool Water Show. So if you want to hear me talk about any of those multiple topics, also Big Brother, there's a lot of Big Brother coverage out there. There's some off-season stuff coming. Some rewatch podcasts and past season discussion. So check that out as well. I think those are going to start to drop probably this week or next week or something like that. So we're out there. We're doing a lot. So check it out.
Nice.
And I was on the Mole podcast yesterday with Kari and JD. They so politely had me.
Yes, we did. We've done so much Mole stuff in the last 2 weeks. So I'm KGD26 on all the social media platforms. Feel free to follow and partake in, just the dumb things I put out on the internet. And then for podcasts, as Katie mentioned, I am like super proud of the work that JD and I have done on the Mole podcast. It does seem like we're the only one out there that has been doing it episode by episode and in a timely manner, which I think are two big things that a binging show like this needs. So we've put in the time, we've put in the work, we've brought on a guests, Katie included, and got their perspective. We are heading into the finale week already next week. So you have your first 8 episodes both on YouTube and online. Definitely check those out if you are watching The Mole. And if you aren't watching The Mole, watch The Mole. Like, it is so good.
Watch The Mole.
It's so good. And I understand waiting until next week so you can watch all 10 episodes at once and like not have to worry about these stupid cliffhangers that they're putting us on. They're not stupid. They are dramatic and they're done. It definitely makes you want to watch the next episode, but it's so like we have to wait until next Friday. And it's just, but anyway, yeah, check that out for sure. Just really enjoying that whole experience. Obviously podcasting about the Real Housewives, and there's like a lot of stuff going down in the Real Housewives world because it's BravoCon this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have some info on that. We'll have Potomac City, Beverly Hills. So yeah, check that out. That'll be coming soon. And that's all I'm doing for podcasts at the moment besides this. So feel free to check us out, Silent Podcasts, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter. If I find the graphic, I'll show you all those. There we go. So search Silent Podcasts, subscribe, follow. We're silent_podcasts on Twitter. We're just putting out a lot of good content right now. We've got a recap of Claim to Fame. We've got Survivor coverage. We have both in-season, post-season Big Brother stuff. We have Amazing Race. We had an interview with the judges from Lego Master. I'm sure I'm missing other things. And if I am, and you're listening to this from Silent Podcast, hey, look, they just changed our background.
I guess
so. Someone's trying to kick us out. So yeah, in conclusion, watch it or follow us, get that content. We're on Apple and Spotify. Rate, subscribe, 5 stars only. But otherwise, that's really it. We've managed to talk to you for 2 hours.
I'm surprised. I didn't realize I had much to say.
The challenge. I mean, we only derailed a few times, so True. It's fine. In conclusion, don't ask us when we're getting married. And we'll talk to you next time. So thanks for listening. Bye.